Hello and welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic, where I'm willing to bet you're looking at this 3x3 puzzle and the video length and going, Mark's had a shocker today. Well, that could still be true, but it's not because of the 3x3 puzzle. This mission that I'm undertaking today, on the day when the JUICE mission to Jupiter and its moons was postponed, I am not postponing my mission. I am going to go zooming into space with 4 different amounts of space in 4 different puzzles. And these are by Matthias, who's also Matthias Martinka, to whom we owe an apology. We selected one of his puzzles for our second book, and they got on with laying it out. And then the book people explained to us that it had appeared in book 1 already, because we'd already known it was that good. So we had to say to Matthias, sorry, we are not actually putting that puzzle in the second book. So maybe we can make some recompense to Matthias by doing effectively 4 of his puzzles on today's video. I do like these quests. 2 of my favourite videos in the past were one where somebody pointed us to a Zelda game which took us through at least 6 grids of Sudoku. I did it all in one sitting, and that may have been on Patreon. That was good fun. Then there was another one that was 6 6x6 grids. Was that Zetamath 6x6x6? I think it was one that predated him, and I actually got it wrong at the end, but bizarrely, I still remember it with great affection as a really interesting puzzle. So I like these quest puzzles. And what we have to do today is solve the first puzzle to get some information for the second, then solve the second to get information for the third, then solve the third to get information for the fourth. And I believe that the rules just keep building as well. So I don't know. I'm really looking forward to giving this a go. Do check it out. Now, what are we going to provide on the links under the video? We're going to provide links to all 4 puzzles, but you're going to have to solve them all in order. I will not, I think, be able to show you all the rules at the beginning of this video, because I'm only seeing the rules for puzzle 1 at the moment. So I will show you the rules for those, and let's hope that after that they're just fairly normal rules that we understand. I mean, you know, the rules will be written on the puzzles as they come up, so you should be able to see them there. I mean, I don't know. It's going to be really interesting. In a way, this is a big old journey into the unknown, and my version of Jupiter will be the 4th puzzle, I think. I suppose maybe it's the 3 moons and then Jupiter. How about that? A big old gas giant at the end. I do not know what order of size Jupiter's main 3 moons are. What are they? Callisto, Europa, and another one I can't remember. It's not Titan, is it? I don't know. Anyway, we will be trying these in a moment. I'm going to first also mention another brilliant quest of a Sudoku pack, the Nightmare Sudoku pack on Patreon. Still a week to run before you need to get your answers in for either the first 5 puzzles to enter the draw or all 19 to get a shout out on the channel. We've had hundreds of people achieve even the all 19, and these are difficult puzzles. You are very, very clever people, and I respect and worship you all. Well done if you've done those. Now, what else have we got? We've had crossword content on the channel lately. In a couple of days, there'll be more. We're hoping to put up on Patreon a hunt for kids as well, or for sort of newer solvers, or solvers who don't quite relish the full challenge of the Nightmare Sudoku pack or have struggled with it. And we'll be very interested to see how you guys do with that. It's kind of conceived as a tool for helping parents guide their kids through the wonders of Sudoku. Maybe today's puzzle does the same. Anyway, we will have a look in a moment. That's probably all I need to mention. There's the apps, of course, including Genuinely Approachable Sudoku for the slightly easier stuff, and our merchandise and Sven's Sudoku pad, all on the links under the video. But the first few links are to today's puzzles, and I am going to go through the rules of layer 1 today. well, now, and then tackle that, and then I will mention any new rules we get as we get them. So the rules are these. Now listen carefully. It's not normal Sudoku rules apply at the beginning. Place the numbers 1 to 3 exactly once in every row and column. And we're only using this white bit of the grid, the 3 by 3. So we're putting 1 to 3 in every row and column. Maximum cell, the value in the grey cell is higher than its orthogonal neighbours. So those must be lower. I presume when we get to the different layers of puzzles, those will also be lower. German whispers, adjacent digits along the marked line have a difference of at least 2. Okay, well, fair enough. At least 2, not at least 5, which is impossible, I suppose, with the digits 1, 2, 3 in place. So at least 2. So those are the rules for this little 3 by 3 grid. There's not much point me restarting my clock. We'll just see how long the whole video takes, frankly. I've had this page up for about 10 minutes on my computer, just for the record. Right, so let's get cracking and see how we go. We've got to put 1, 2, 3 in every row, column, and well, there's no box as such. 1, 2, 3 in every row and column. Now, German whispers, the rules are these have to be 2 apart at least, so they must be a 1, 3 pair. The same's true down here. So the 2 in row 1 and column 1 is there. Now that rules out 2 from these places by the rules we're operating under for this puzzle. So all of these are 1s and 3s because we've got all 3 2s. The orthogonal, the maximum cell says that this is the higher number, 3. Those are 1s, these are 3s, and this was very straightforward. There's a 1, and we're finished. Now, what we have to do to extract, and this is written in, not on the puzzle printouts, but in the description field, we have to extract the 1 from row 1, the 2 from row 2, and the 3 from row 3, and take them into the second grid. Let me just try and load up the second grid. Here we go. Now, there we are. So where were the 1, 2, and 3? They are in, well, there 1, there 2, and there 3. And we use them as givens. Now, the rules this time. Place the numbers 1 to 5 exactly once in every row and column. So we're ignoring the box boundaries. Maximum cell rules still apply. That's to this cell. That's bigger than its orthogonal neighbours. German whispers. Now adjacent digits along the marked lines have a difference of at least 3. That's gone up. And Kropki, we've got this one Kropki dot. The 2 cells connected by a dot contain consecutive numbers. Right. So let's get cracking on this. Right, on the maximum, these are lower than 3 and they can't be 2, so they're both 1. These are lower than 3 and they can't be 1, so they're both 2. Now, right, this Kropki dot needs an even digit and it can't be 2. So the even digit is 4. So it's either 3, 4 or 4, 5. And the 1 in this row must be here. Now there's only one more 1 to put in the grid because we've got 4 of them. That's going to go here. In fact, we've got 3 2s done. So the remaining 2s must go in these cells. I could have done those first. This is 3 or 5. It can't be 4 because 4 is on the dot. 4 is in one of these cells. In fact, this is a 4, 5 pair. Yes, 4 is in one of these cells. And that's an X-wing, which says that we're using up the 4s for rows 1 and 2 there. So 4 can't go in those cells because both the 4s in rows 1 and 2 have been used up. 4 in column 5 must go here. This is a 3, 5 pair. This is a 4, 5 pair. So that's using 2 5s. That's an X-wing on 5. So we don't have a 5 here. We get a 5 here. This is a 3, 4 pair. And this is a 3, 5 pair. Now, how do we disambiguate these? I think we can't use the boxes, remember, they don't apply. Oh, it's the whispers. Right, the difference is 3 now, so we can't actually have a 3 in these cells, and that'll do it. So that's going to disambiguate all our remaining bits and bobs. And this has been a fairly safe passage through the second moon of Jupiter as I'm seeing this now. Now, we're going to need the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from each row. And they are, oh look, they're in row, well, column 1 of the 5 by 5, column 1, column 1, column 2, column 3. Okay, that's a pattern I can memorize. Now I load up the third grid and I'm going to put those into it. And the 5 by 5 was like this, obviously, so that pattern involves these cells. Let's just colour them for a second. They are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, thank you, Mr. Yellow. And now, the rules are place the numbers 1 to 7 exactly once in every row and column. Maximum cell and Kropki rules still apply. German whispers. Adjacent digits along the marked lines, we've got another one, have a difference of at least 4 now. And anti-king, so the same digit cannot appear in diagonally adjacent cells. So those two couldn't be the same, nor could those two, which is relevant. Remember, the boxes just don't matter. So what can we do now? Right, on a German whisper, which has a difference of at least 4, it's very analogous to the German whisper with a difference of at least 5. 4 can never appear on it because we're using the digits 1 to 7. So, look at this digit. With the anti-king rule in play, this is high. It sees all of these. It sees 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that is a high digit, 5, 6, or 7. The ones on the line that are adjacent to it must be low. They must be, this one must be 1, 2, or 3 by the German whisper rule, and it's touching 2 and 3. So that's a 1. This is also 1, 2, and 3 by the German whisper rule, and it's now seeing 1 and 2. So that's a 3. That bounces back and makes this a 7 to keep the difference of at least 4. And we've used that line fully. I keep wanting to look at this as a box. It's just not a box in this puzzle. That's irrelevant. I think we're going to have to use this anti-king rule a lot. Well, let's look at the... Oh, look, this cell sees 1, 2, 3, 4 on the king's move and 5. So that's 6 or 7. This is connected to that by the Kropki dot, but it can't be 5, so this is 6 or 7. We know which way round they go from the 7, and we've used the Kropki information. This cell sees 1, 2, 3, 7, 4, and 6. That's a 5. This one sees 1, 2, 3, 5, 7 in the column and 6 on the king's move, so that's a 4. And we've finished a column. Hurrah! This is 2 or 3. This one sees all of those, doesn't it? So that we know is a 5, and then this is 2 or 3 as well. Now, what else have we got? Oh, what about this? Well, can it be 3 like the last puzzle? I think it can, because it could have a disposition of 1s and 2s in those cells. So I'm going to say 3, 6, or 7 there. Yeah, this is getting a bit crunchier now, or else I'm being a bit slower. That's quite possible. Right, let's look at the possibilities here. This sees 1, 3, and 5 by Sudoku, 4 and 7 by King's Move, so that's 2 or 6. This one sees 5, 4, 3, 1, 6. So that's 2 or 7. Well, it can't be 7 in this position on the maximum cell. So that's 2. That's 6. That touches this cell, which is not 6. It can't be 3 anymore because this cell, don't worry about the box, but worry about the King's Move and normal Sudoku rules. This one can't be 1, 2, or 3. Also, incidentally, it can't be 6. It's 4, 5, I would say it's 7, but because of this relationship it can't be. So that's 4 or 5. This has become, unsurprisingly, 7 in the maximum cell. This sees a 3, so that's 1 or 6. Now, the maximum cell is no help anymore. It's, if we just deploy 7's value as a Sudoku digit, it's doing as much as it can for us. Right, this is a 1 or a 7 because it sees the others. This sees 6 different digits. It sees all of those. That is a 4. Oh, that's a 1 or 7. So we're getting pairs at the top and bottom of columns 3 and 4. 7. Right, what does this see? 3, 1, 6, 2, 7. Yeah. This one sees 2, 7, 3, 4, 6. That's 1 or 5. How are we going to make progress? This sees 1, 5, 4, 3, 7. That's 2 or 6. I mean, it's quite profitable narrowing these down a bit, but I think it's going to end now. That's 1, 3, or 4. Oh, this isn't bad. This sees 3, 1, 6, and then on the king's move 2 and 5. This sees 2, 7, 3, and just a 1 on the king's move. 1, 5, 4, 6, 2. What about this? 7. Whoa. I mean, into the corners, it's not quite so easy to narrow these down. I think we're going to have to somehow deploy this distant. This distant German whisper line. Now, what's the difference? At least 4. Well, this one. Okay, so we can't put 4 on the line. This is 1, 5, or 6, therefore, just by Sudoku. But it cannot be 5, because that would have to be a 1, and that's impossible. Right, so we've got 1 or 6. I want to look at that as a 1, 3, 6 triple, but the boxes are irrelevant. I have to ignore them. This is therefore either high enough to allow that to be a 1, so given the 4, 5 there, it's 6 or 7, or it's low enough to allow that to be a 6, in which case it's a 2. Now, one of these is wrong and one is right. How do I know which? I just don't feel the king's move's helping much more. Or is it? King's moves do things that are really useful, but they're very hard to spot for me. I mean, this, for instance, is 2, 4, or 5. This is 1, 4, 5, or 6, obviously, and this is 2, 3, 6, or 7. I'm not embarrassed to fully pencil mark these things because they might suddenly tell me something that I'm not seeing elsewhere. Okay, let's stop there. Well, no, almost. I'm going to do this as well. 1, 2, 3, 5. I make no bones about it. I just think it might help to pencil mark the candidates. Now, come on. It's something to do with this. What on earth is it? Okay, if that's 2 or 6, then we've got a pair. And that couldn't be 6, and that couldn't be 2 or 6. What does that do? Not much, really. Wow. Am I just missing a right in digit somewhere that I can't see? I might be. I really might be. Okay, 6 there and 2 there is a more limited option. So let's have a think about that. 6 here and 2 here puts a 6 here. Ah, 2 there puts a 2 here in row 5. That's interesting, a bit interesting. Then you've got an X-wing on 2s in those columns, and that would have to be a 2. Then you end up with a 1, 4, 3 here. You see, look, this is another weird quadruple of different digits because they all see each other once the king's move's in operation. I mean, the same would be true of those, but it just looks a bit more relevant here somehow. Am I going to have to use something like that? So 2 there and 6 there would put 2 here, 2 here. Yeah. They would be 1, 4, 3, and that would be a 6. So you would have 6s in those two positions, which is possible. That's fine. Then the 6 in column 1 would have to be there. That would be a 6 as well. It does work. That's really frustrating. I want it to break. Okay, let's try it with a 1 here. See if something else breaks. That becomes a 5. Oh, that's quite interesting if that's a 5, because yeah, if either of those are a 5, then you can't have a 5 here. And that must be a 5. Right, this can never be a 5, because one of these 3 in row 5, or in row 4 that is a 5. So that is never a 5. In fact, yeah, one of them's a 2 as well. That's not so useful. But now 5 is either here or here. How can I use that? Not really. Okay, but let's think again about where did this start? If that's a 1, then that's a 5, and that's a 4. Then that's a 6. So if that's a 1... Ah, that's interesting. Right, if that's a 1, you get 5 here, 4 here, and 6 here. This can't be 6, so this can never be 6. Because if that's a 6, it's obviously not 6. So this has come down to 2 choices. Now 6 in this row is in one of those 2 cells, and that can't be 6. Oh, now I could look at that 2 by 2, which all have to be different. So that is definitely a set of 1, 4, 5, 2. Look, that is a set of 1, 4, 5. Yes. After this work I've done, I think it was necessary to reduce it to that. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it was. That is a set of 1, 4, 5. They all touch each other. They all have to be different. And they are all different from this, which is now a 2. And that feels very significant, although I'm not sure. This can't be a 2. Oh, come on, that was clever. Why is there no instant big dividend from that? Oh, that's frustrating. Okay, they're all different. They also all see that one. No use. Oh, come on. So which one was less likely? Maybe we're down to 1 and 7 being less likely. What would happen with that? 1 there and 7 there. 7 in row 4 would have to be here. 7 in row 1 would now have to be here. And that would be a 7. Okay, that works. Maybe 2, 6 is still the more constrained. 2 gives us 6 here and a 6 here. So we're getting 6s in these positions. We're going to have 1... No, I don't know. For columns 1 and 6, there's still an X-wing left. Maybe that's not the constrained one then. So let's still think about 1 and 7. Oh, that doesn't work. If that's a 1... Oh, this is a triple, isn't it? And in this triple of 1, 4, 5, the 1 is in one of those cells. Actually, I'm going to also note the 5's in one of those. But the 1 being in one of those means this is a 6. And that's done the whisper line. We get 2 there. Let's hope this finishes off now, because this was much harder for me than everything else that we've looked at so far. And the puzzle, the whole quest has slowed down. Now there's a 5 in one of those 2 cells, so that's not a 5. That's what I learnt. 2, 6. So how are we doing for 6s? Oh, well, that's not a 6. And this is a 1, 3, 4 triple. So with a 2, sorry, what's going on there? That's no use to me. With a 2 also not being available here, and a 1, 3, 4 triple. Oh, that's a 1, 3, 4 triple looking at that cell and looking at that cell. So that cell becomes a 6. That one becomes a 2. Yes, this 1, 3, 4 triple is huge. 6, 2. So we can put a 6 in the corner. No song. We can make this a 1. We can put a 3 here. 3 in row 5 now has to be there. That's a 1, 4 pair. We are going to finish this off. Still, I'm looking at this as a box. It does not count as a box mark. That's me, I'm talking to myself. That's not a 6. That is 4 or 5. 6, 2, 1. Oh, this must be done. Come on. Those can't be 3s. That's a 1, 2 pair. That is a 5. That's a 4. That's a 1. That lovely triple is all done, and it was very helpful, even though I took quite a while to learn my lesson from it. That's a 7 now. This 4, 1 pair is done. This must be done. It's a 5. 7 and 4 in the corners. No song on this moon. 5 and 3 up there, but these 7s, that's doing this whole bottom row, and that's going to fix the top row. 3, 2, 1, 7. Wow. And now we transfer the digits. Right, let's mark them on this. It may take a couple of visits to figure them out. So there they are in those positions. And we're going to go to the 9 by 9 grid when I work out where that is and put those digits in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can't even work it out straight away. Right, it is in the... Oh, well, they're in the same places in the relative to the box borders. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And of course, the markings have stayed the same. It's not actually that hard to transfer these. 5... I've just found it very difficult. 5, 6, and 7 there. Right, these are our starting digits. Now, what are our rules? That's quite important. Normal Sudoku rules apply, which actually means not just the digits 1 to 9, but now we can finally use the box boundaries, which is great. Maximum cell, Kropki, and anti-king rules still apply. Anti-king still applies. That's important. Now, the German whispers, adjacent digits on the mark line have a difference of at least 5. Cages, we've got some killer cages around the perimeter. They show their sums. This has been a bit like a fog of war puzzle, revealing the outer parts. Anyway, here we go. Let's get cracking on this one. So, German whispers, let's do that. That 3 has to be next to 8 or 9. This is what I think of as ordinary German whispers. This has to be a low digit, 1 or 2, because it can't be 3 or 4. This is a high digit, can't be 7, so that's 8 or 9. Now, we've got 24 cages, 2 of them, which are 9, 8, 7s. The 7 that we've been given sees 1 cell in each. My goodness, there's not actually a lot of information here. Anti-king, this is vital. 5 sees those cells, so 5's in one of those 2. Oh, 6 is on a white dot and it can't be next to 5, so that's a 7. That places 7 in the cage. Oh, and now that's a 5-7 pair in box 5. Ah, where does 6 go? That 6 sees both of those cells by King's Move and Sudoku. So the 6 goes in the maximum cage, which works fine with the 4. This digit is now 2, 3 or 5 because it's lower and it's not 1 or 4. This is lower and there's the King's Move thing operating, so this is 1, 2 or 3. This one, right, it's not 5, which is there. It's not 4 or 3. This one is a 1 or a 2, but so is this one. And this must be the other 8 or 9 in the box. Now, I have a feeling there'll be some colouring coming along soon. Right, 8, 9 and 7 and 5 can't be in this cell, but it contributes to a 13 sum, so that's 4 or 6 with 7 or 9 there, but we've got the 8, 9 pair looking at that 7, 6 there. 6 there, 6 there. One of these is a 6. What about this 15 cage? Don't know. Could be 6, 5, 4. Yeah, I don't know. No facts really coming to our rescue there yet. Now, 1, 4, 6, 8, 9, 6, 7. Ooh. This cell sees an awful lot of digits. It sees 8, 9, 6, 7, 3, 2 and 1. That is a 4 or a 5. And now there are some interesting relationships that I mustn't miss. That 5, 7 pair, they both see that cell and they both see that cell when you use the King's Move. It's interesting. I don't quite know what it means for me yet, but I have to just keep alert to these things, because I think with King's Move, there's just stuff that you can do and it's easy if you're looking for that particular nugget of information, but not if you're not. Right, what about this 13 cage? This digit can't be 8 or 9. It's not so good. It's 4, 5, 6 or 7, and this one is 9, 8, 6 or 7. That's not as helpful. Yeah, you do get some other odd relationships. 7 in this column, for instance, has to be in one of those places, which doesn't really seem very helpful, except that they all see that cell, which can't be a 7. Actually, it couldn't have been a 7 because... in fact, what can this be? Oh, this is really interesting. This sees... No, it doesn't. I thought it saw the 4 and the 6. It's not really interesting. It's only a little interesting. This cell sees the 4 and the 6, and 1, 2, and 3. But it could be 5 or 7 and be the same as that. Wow, this is tough. What am I going to do? I've got to find a really interesting place in the grid that's going to help. Okay, this one. This is interesting. That sees both of the 8, 9 pair. It also sees 4, 5, 7 and 6. So this is a very low 1, 2 or 3. I'm tempted both by colouring 1s and 2s and... Oh, look, this sees an 8, 9 pair and a 3 and a 5 and a 7 and a 6. That is 1, 2 or 4. Right, where's 4 in this box? Can't be in those cells, so it's either there or in one of those two. Now, if we could force it to be here, which would also put it here, what happens to 4? Well, that becomes a 9. Then you get 8, 7, 9 here. Is that possible? No, it's not. Ah, look, that's a pair. That's a pair, and they're both not just looking in their column, they're looking at that cell too, because of the King's Move. So that's not 8 or 9. That's not 4 or 5. This is a 6, 7 pair. Oh, that's really interesting. It's very weird. Okay, I'm going to colour the 8s and 9s. Let's start here and go red, yellow, red, in that row, yellow in that column. Yeah, okay, I can put one here, because this is obviously a yellow-red pair, because that's 8 and 9. Where does yellow go in this box? Not in that row because of that yellow, not in that row because of that yellow, not in this cell because of that yellow and the king's move, not in this cell because of that pair. So we get yellow here. Then one of those three is yellow. That's not so helpful. Oh, look, no. Red is in one of those two places. In box 2. Because that's not an 8 or 9. This cell sees all of those and this one sees those. Oh, this is weird. This is a weird bit. Red is in one of those three cells in box 1. I'm going to keep on thinking about this because it's quite strange. Yellow sees all of those cells in... Oh, one of these is definitely yellow. So yellow in box 2 can't be there or there. It also can't be there or there. So yellow in box 2 is in one of these cells. So yellow and red definitely touch each other in this box. Hang on. No. I'm not right. I'm not right about yellow. I am right about red, but that could be yellow. Probably is. Oh, this is weird. I'm sorry. I'm finding this very difficult to think about, this puzzle. No, where is it? I'm still going to keep thinking about where is yellow in this box. I mean, I think it can still be anywhere there. That's not true. It can't be in that cell because it must be seen. One of these is yellow. Okay, I'm going to colour that. So this isn't yellow. So yellow in this box is in one of those 4 cells. Oh, I don't know. That is not helpful colouring for me because I keep thinking of it as confined within a box and it just isn't. Okay, maybe... Oh, 6, 7 pair looking at the 6 down here. So we get 6 here. Right, now, the 15 cage is not 654. It's got to have one big digit in, which will not be here. By big, I mean 8 or 9. Can't have them both because that would take the total over 15. It must have one of them because you can't just use 3 numbers under 7 and 6. So it has one of them in, which is either red or yellow in one of these cells. If it's a 9, you could do this with 951 or 924. 27896. That is 1, 3, 4 or 5 just by elimination. I don't know, 951, 924 and 834 and 825. They're all possible. Bother. I thought that was going to be more helpful. Where's 6 in this box? It's in one of those 2 cells because it can't be here because they see the 6, 7 and ordinary 6s see everything else. Now that applies up here as well. Those aren't 6 and those aren't 6 because of the 6, 7 cage. So 6 is in one of those 2 and that's a weird pattern of 6s. They're either there and there or there and there on a knight's move from each other. Ah, where's 7s? 7 in box 6 particularly. Where is 7? It can't be here or here because of this. It can't be here or here because of the 6, 7 cage. It can't be here or here because the pencil marks forbid it. And it cannot be here because that sees the 5, 7 pair from the central box. So 7 is in one of those 2 cells in box 6 and therefore it's not here in box 5. Aha! Now, this cell is from the 7, 8, 9 group. This isn't 5. It's just 2 or 3. One of those is definitely a 7 in this row. In this column, I mean, sorry. still don't know where yellow is. Where is yellow in row 3? It's not there, or any of those 3. It's interesting, but it's not conclusive. Oh, where's red in box 4? Red can't be in any of those cells. And it can't be there or there, and it's not yellow. We've got red in box 4 that I hadn't seen. So that is now touching it and is not red. And that is, therefore, it is red. Oh, well, this has got a bit better. Yeah, those aren't red. That's red. That's not red. That's red. So we've got a lot. In fact, that's not 7 now because it's red. So 7 in column 6 is up at the top, and that's very helpful because now we've found yellow in box 3, because yellow is the other of 8, 9. Now, yellow must be in one of those cells. Yellow is here, though, in box 1, therefore we know where it is in box 2. Come on, yellow. Yellow is in, oh look, yellow's in one of these 2 cells, so it is the digit, the high digit in the 15 cage. And it's in one of those 2 in column 6. What about red? Red's in one of those in box 6, one of these in box 8, and one of those in box 9, which is not that helpful. I know it can't go in the 15 cage because yellow's going in there. Come on. Oh, this is such an interesting and weird puzzle. King's Move can do this, actually. It's very strange. Oh, well, that was great colouring on yellow and red. Now, the other thing I had been thinking about colouring was 1 and 2. Is that worth anything? Look, 4 now. Can't be in those cells. Must be in one of those 2 in box 6. So 4's somewhere up there. Now, that means 4 can't be in these cells. Is that any use? No, not really. 1 can't be in those cells. We can place 1 in box 3. That's the sort of thing you just have to find almost randomly. So there's a 1 somewhere here. 3 in box 2 is in one of those cells, so one of these is a 3. Actually, look, one of those is also a 2. That 1-2 pair, they don't, the cells they both see are already occupied, so they're not as helpful as that 5-7 pair was, which did feel excessively useful. But its usefulness may have run out a bit now. Now, what about 5 in row 3? One of those 3? Oh, I can write an 8 or 9 into that cell. It's odd that I haven't managed to disambiguate reds and yellows, but the whispers are doing nothing for it. I mean, all of these whisper cells could be anything out of the candidates and doesn't change a thing. Now, do these see each other? They do, I think. That has to be a 1, 2, 3 triple. Well, all that's telling me that I can notice at the moment is that the 1 in that triple is in row 6. So this is either a 3 or a 4, and that's 2, 3 or a 4. That's quite limited possibilities, but it's not actually solving anything, is it? I don't know. 3 is going to be in one of those cells, so that can't be a 3. And that can't be a 3. Ooh, if I could rule that out from being a 3. So if this was a 3, what would happen? It would be lovely to put 3 in the 15 cage. If this was a 3, you'd get 3 here in column 6. 3 in one of those 2 cells, 3 in one of those 2, 3 there, 3 in one of those, We've got a 3 there. 3 is definitely in one of those two cells, and it just works. Okay, that didn't work, but it could well be a kind of move like that we're going to need. Okay, let's colour. I was going to colour the 1s and 2s, but I've already placed some of them. And as for the others, I don't really know much about them, so 2 has to be in one of... Okay, 2 in row 3 can't be in those cells because they all see that one. So it's in one of these along with the 4. So it's not here. This is 1 or 3. That feels slightly powerful. That is 2, 3 or 4 because it sees all the high numbers in its column. That's 1, 2, 3 or 4. Oh, it's not a 3 actually because it sees where a 3 is in box 2. It's interesting. It's 2 or 4. And whatever it is can't be... You see, this is another of these all different digits sets. And it's a weird one, isn't it? Oh, 6 has to be in one of those two cells. What's going on with 6? Nothing else? Maybe not. That digit has to be in one of these two, and therefore is not a 2. Look, yes, 2 in this box is confined to those cells, and they all see that one, so it becomes a 4. Now 4 in this box is in one of those two, and therefore one of these 3. Ah, it's such a strange puzzle. That's not a 4. This isn't a 4 either. Now, this is a 1, 2, 3 triple. Yes, it is. They all see each other, so that's a 3. Come on, that's good. This is a 1, 2 pair. What are they doing? Nothing else. They've done what they're doing. They've finished. Isn't that 3 more useful? Not really. 3, 8, 9, 7, 5. This is a 1, 2, 4, 6 quad. Ah, no, look, this has got something going for it as well. There's a 1 in one of those two cells. So these don't have a 1 in. So these two do have a 1 in, and they both see this cell, don't they? They do. That is a 2. Right, didn't need colouring, got it by logic. That's a 1. Ooh, this, I was going to say this is a 2, but that... No, it's definitely not a 2. It sees that 1, 2 pair. That was a weird triple. Okay, that's a 6 now. And this is a 2, 4 pair. Now, 2 can't be in... Well, it never could have been in those cells. Let's look in this row. That is 6 or 7. But it's not 6. It's 7. That's 6. That's not. This is 7. That's 6 in box 3. Wow. I love this. It's so clever. There's a 6 in one of those two cells, which forms an X-wing for the last 2 6s in the grid. There's the last 7 in the grid. All the 6s and 7s are done. Now, how has this not finished off my reds and yellows? It just hasn't done it at all. I don't know. That's really weird. These are from 2, 3, 8 or 9. Why can't I know which is yellow and which is red? Right, we've got a 3, 4, 5 triple up here, in which, this one can't be a 4 for some reason, because I've confined 4 to one of those two cells. So it's a naked single. It sees that cell, so it's a 3. This is now a 4, 5 pair. This is brilliant. This is a 2, 3 pair. I'm going to do that. Yeah, let's mark all of these. We've got the candidate there. 6 is in one of those two cells. 2 was in one of these 3, I remember. 3, we've got that 3, so 3 is in one of those two, but 5 is the rogue digit. It can't be there, but 4 can be. 5 can be in any of these. Oh, bother. Right. But still, it's worth doing because I've transferred corner marks to centre marks. Oh, I've got a 4, 5 pair, so that can't be 5. what's this telling me? Is it solving itself? Or is it being mean? I think it's being mean. Oh, that can't be 1. It's touching a 1. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm sure that a lot of things in this puzzle are getting you shouting at your screen. Look, there's a 2 that's been available for the longest time, as Billy Joel would have said. 2 in this column looks like it's going to have to be at the top. Why did I think 2 had to be in one of those? Yes, in this column 2 does have to be in one of those cells, so it's not down here, it is here in column 5. Oh right, well that's doing a whole bundle. That's finished box 2 apart from red and yellow, of course. This is now a 6-3 pair, which I can fill in. Oh, it's coming now. That 2, look at this, apart from red and yellow, I'm getting everything done suddenly in boxes 1, 2, 5 and 6. Oh, and this was that can't be 1 anymore. This was a 1, 2, 3 triple that I forgot. And in fact, it's all resolved. 2, 3, that's not a 2. That's a 3, 4 pair. This is 1 or 5 because it's not the high digit. That's not 3 by Sudoku. This is 4 or 5 because it's not the high digit. This is a 1 to finish the column. That's not a 1. 6, 1, 7, 3. So they don't. Oh, the 3 has placed the 2. This is 2 and it's not yellow. So those 2 are yellow. That one is not. Yellow is 8 or 9. I still don't know which is bizarre, frankly, at this point. 3 is not in those cells in box 9, so it is in the cage, and it is not with a 9 because that would need it to be 9, 3, 3. So I have finally found out one of those is a 3. That is the point. It must go with an 8. Yellow is 8, and I can I have to go to the color thing and highlight them all. Yellow is 8. They're all in suddenly. Red is 9. Let's put the ones I know in. That's 6 of them. Now we've got a 3 in this cage and a 4 to make up the 15 total. How do I not know which order they are in? I don't know. But anyway, it is an 8, 3, 4. In this column, we've got a 3, 4 pair. That's 1 or 5. The whispers are all done. The maximum cell is done. The Kropki is done. The cages are pretty much done once I get those done. 2. I can place 2 in the box. The last 2 in the grid. 9 is in one of these cells and is red. So that's not red. And that is. Left with an X-wing still on 9s. Maddening. Oh, so, okay, there's just some totally obvious whisper thing. That can't be 9. Well, it's, yeah, no, it's a naked single using red, which is 9. That's a 1. That's a 5. That's going to do it all, isn't it? We've got a 9, 5 pair down here now. That makes this 4. That's 5. Still haven't done the 3, 4s. We'll get to them. Down here we've got a 4, 5, 9 triple. That must be resolved by now. The 1 sees that. That finishes box 7. That's not a 4. That 3 sorts out the cage, and that's vital. This is a 5. That's a 9. Let's get the colouring right. That has no colour. It's a colourless 4. I never spotted that we got a 3 in the corner. Losing its religion. And we finish our tour of the moons and Jupiter. And there it is. That is the final solution to the Zoom 9x9 puzzle. What a brilliant set of puzzles. That is fantastic from Matthias. Really, really, really interesting. I I hope you've been able to have a go at it and follow through using the rules in the description field, because the transferring of the digits is the bit that matters a lot, and I didn't really mention until we got to the point where we could use it. So that's the bit where things might fall down. I hope it hasn't for you, because that experience is well worth doing. I do love a good quest, and delighted to have got the juice out of this one. Brilliant puzzles, Matthias. Thank you for sending this to us, and well done if you got through them. Hope to see you again soon on the channel. As it is, bye for now.